Welcome along to Shanghai, ladies and gentlemen, where it's Chinese Grand Prix weekend. But before we can race, we need to qualify. And who's going to take that coveted pole position? How will our grid line up? We're about to find out. Welcome to qualifying.
Okay, radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
Okay, that's all the checks complete. We're ready to go. Okay, we can take you this lap. Okay, we've only got one lap of fuel remaining. Leclerc behind. Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining. Right, their best lap, 1 minute 41.1.
And that's it for sprint qualifying. Plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend. So we'll see you all tomorrow.
All right, let's have a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
Right, the car's ready. Let's get it out there. Understood. Stopping this lap. Okay, Hulkenberg's behind you now. Gasly's behind you. And Verstappen's behind. Okay, we've only got one lap of fuel remaining.
And that's it for sprint qualifying. Plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend. So we'll see you all tomorrow.
Okay, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
Everyone ready? Okay, let's go. Albon behind. Leclerc ahead. Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps. will receive you at the end of this lap. Pierce is behind you now. Okay, Science is behind you. We don't currently have the data for that request. Okay, we've only got one lap of fuel remaining. Lando's ahead of you now. Okay, so their best lap so far, 1:37.4. Are you okay? That was a nasty hit. Turn the engine off and wait for the marshals.
And that's it for sprint qualifying. Plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend. So we'll see you all tomorrow. Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. We're here in the Yangtze River Delta today, home of the 16 corners that make up the Shanghai International Circuit. 54% of this 3.3-mile lap is taken at full throttle, and we'll be getting up to speeds of around 200 miles per hour with DRS assistance down the back straight before the cars brake into the tight hairpin at turn 14. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, and Yuki Tsunoda completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Norris, Carlos Sainz and Russell, Pierce, Piastri, Gasly and Alex Albon, Stroll, Antonelli, Franco Colapinto and Hülkenberg, Mayer, Maloney, Paul Aaron and Isaac Hadjar, Bortoletto, Behrman, O'Sullivan and Jack Doohan rounds off the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And alongside me in the commentary box today, a man who I always look up to, which is easier said than done, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Here we go then, the formation lap is underway ahead of today's sprint. As all the cars take their positions on the grid, the final preparations have been made, and all that's left is for the drivers to deliver on track.
Laps of fuel remaining. Norris is behind you. Okay, DRS is now available. We've got a lot of spare energy. Okay to use your overtake button. That's a new fastest lap of the race. position, front of the pack. Leclerc is behind you. They're on fresh softs. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. 4 laps remaining. Okay, we've got 10 laps of fuel to go. 10 laps of fuel left. Green flag, we're racing again, let's go. Tyre condition still looking good. flag. Okay, final lap, let's go, final lap. As things stand, we'll be second in the championship. The underbody's taken some damage, expect some significant impact to performance, I'm afraid. Systems all looking good, head down. Yes, mate, I'll take that. Well done. We're really happy with the podium down here, so well done. Yes.
Well, good job, guys.
Well, that's an end to the sprint action. Next up, we'll set the grid for the Grand Prix. So we'll see you next time. Welcome along to Shanghai, ladies and gentlemen, where it's Chinese Grand Prix weekend. But before we can race, we need to qualify. And who's going to take that coveted pole position? How will our grid line up? We're about to find out. Welcome to qualifying.
Okay, radio check, radio check.
Cool.
Okay, engines fired up, we're set. Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please. Gasly's behind you. Verstappen behind you now. Okay, we've only got one lap of fuel remaining. Okay, let's have a comms check, please. Radio check.
Radio check.
Okay, guys, everyone be aware the car's ready to go. Stroll ahead. Albon behind. Conditions look stable at the moment, no rain currently expected. Okay, dry seem like the best tyre for now. a quick position rundown for you. The top 5 are Norris, Doohan, Pierce, Gasly and Antonelli. That's Albon behind you. Okay, just 2 laps of fuel remaining now. Okay, we can take you this lap. Pierce is behind you now. Norris behind. Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining. The fastest lap at the moment, 1:37.5. Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining. Okay, radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
Standing by. Albon behind. Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps. Okay, you've got P5, P5. Leclerc is ahead of you. That's Albon behind you. Understood, stopping this lap. Systems all looking good, head down. Wow, that was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
The Chinese Grand Prix then is upon us once again. It's a race that saw Michael Schumacher claim his final Formula One victory in 2006, as well as Red Bull's first win with Sebastian Vettel in 2009. There's no doubt there's plenty more drama to come here in Shanghai. The ever-tightening turns of 1 and 2 will prove tricky in the slippery conditions here in Shanghai, and anyone that slides wide will lose a lot of time getting back on track. Turn 14 should still be the best place for overtaking, but we'll have to see some improvement in the weather before the drivers can take advantage of that DRS assistance. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Albon, Tsunoda, Carlos Sainz, and Piastri, Antonelli, Norris, Verstappen, Pierce, Gasly, Colapinto, Calimea, and Behrman, Stroll, Doohan, Zach O'Sullivan, and Paul Aaron, Hulkenberg, Hadja, Maloney, and Gabriel Bortoleto rounds off the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. And alongside me in the commentary box, my old friend, Anthony Davidson. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
Right then, the formation lap has started, and I must say the weather conditions aren't the best today for visibility and for grip. As each driver performs this lap, they'll be wanting to settle in and concentrate, as this race, in these conditions, will require a lot of focus. So as all the cars take their positions on the grid, the teams will be hoping their strategies pay off for them in today's race. But the question I'm asking is which teams have got it right, which ones have got it horribly wrong?
scrapes. Try not to make it any worse, please. Okay, be very careful, the floor's incurred massive damage. Got a lot of spare energy, okay to use your overtake button. Okay, we've got a full course caution. The safety car's out. Keep an eye on the delta. We need to keep it positive to avoid a penalty. Slow down, maintain positive delta.
Copy.
Right, if we play this right, we can get a nice advantage here. Let's have a think about how we handle the rest of this race. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 25.6 seconds. There's serious damage to the underbody. Repeat, serious damage to the underbody. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Okay, you're in the dirty air of the car in front, let's get past them. DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 4.3 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Time last lap, 1:48.1. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 8.6 seconds. position, front of the pack. Leclerc is behind you. They're on fresh mediums. Your pit window opens in 5 laps time. 5 laps. Okay, 12 laps to go. Battery charge is high, let's use that overtake button a bit more. And there are 18 laps of fuel remaining now. Come on, you can win that place back. Tyre condition still looking good. Okay, we're approaching the pit window. You're going to be on softs. Okay, clear. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 11.5 seconds. They're on fresh mediums, and the time last lap, 1 minute 43.3. Okay, focus. We need to stay on form. Okay, we're boxing this lap. Give us the best in lap you can.
Copy.
Remember, box this lap. Keep an eye on your distance to the speed limit line as you approach and make sure you don't speed. Okay, off we go, back into the race. That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting. That was our last stop, no more scheduled pit stops, let's go. mediums. Time last lap, 1:45.3. Use your overtake button more. It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on. Remember to play around with ERS modes in your MFD if you need to. Right, the gap to the teammate ahead of us, 9.5 seconds. Okay, gap to the car in front, 6.9 seconds. Okay, we've got 12 laps of fuel remaining. No need to worry about the tyre condition for now, everything's looking good. Good job, that was the fastest lap of the race so far. Okay, Callie's ahead of you now. Okay, gap to the car ahead, 4.6 seconds. They're on old mediums, and the time last lap, 1 minute 44.9. Don't forget about the overtake ERS mode in your MFD. It's a good boost but drains quickly, so use it with caution. Push, push. Green flag. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done. Gasly's ahead of you. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 5.4 seconds. They're on old mediums. Time last lap, 1:44.7. Okay, you're gaining by over 5 seconds a lap. Keep it up. 5 seconds will be added to their time at the end of the race. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 4.9 seconds. Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 4.9 seconds. Okay, you've got P5, P5. That's Gasly ahead. They're on old mediums. Norris is behind you. Okay, so gap to the leader, 24.6 seconds. They're on old mediums. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Come on, just 3 laps to go, 3 laps. As things stand right now, we'll be 4th in the championship. Albon ahead, and gap to the car in front, 7.0 seconds. They're on old mediums, and the time last lap, 1:43.9. This is brilliant, you're taking 2.5 seconds out of them each lap. Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Just be warned, the underbody's showing heavy damage. Systems all looking good, head down. Final lap, push. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 8.9 seconds. As things stand right now, we'll be 4th in the championship. Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Oh, you got lucky there, Bugs.
And Leclerc to the line, to the checkered flag. It's King Charles today. He wins.
Well, a brilliant race for them today, Crofty, as you can clearly see out there. They were really at one with the car. And as a driver, you take comfort from the fact that you can win in a new set of regulations. And moving forward, you're going to see that confidence rise more and more. Brilliant stuff today by them.
Well, it's been a long wait for many of our drivers, but the wait is always worth it. Bring them out to the awaiting crowd. It's time for our podium celebrations. And that is a fabulous win. And the top step of the podium for Charles Leclerc. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.